Hello and welcome to a special Soap Secrets brought to you by What's on TV magazine. I'm Claire Ruck, the editor, and my Soaps Editor Sarah Waterfall chats to Samantha Giles about Bernice's return in Emmerdale.
Hi Sam, I'm Sarah. Welcome to Soap Secrets. Feel to be back.
Well, it's funny, I was saying before, it feels like time has just frozen, in this sort of 18 months when I've been away. So it's really nice to see everyone. It's a bit weird with all the COVID restrictions, but it's lovely to revisit and revisit Bernice.
Have you missed playing Bonkers Bernice?
No, not really. No, I haven't missed it. I've more kind of, I was ready to definitely, have a break from it before. I think I've missed the people more than anything else, but actually now I'm back playing her, it's like putting on a pair of old shoes, and it's quite comfortable, comforting, I suppose, as well. And it's nice to see what she's up to again.
So when she appears in the village, does anyone know she's coming?
That's a good question. No, I don't think they do, actually. I think she just, obviously she knows that what's going down, with Gabi and everything. And I think the sort of thing that prompts her to make that decision to come back is partly Gabi's pregnancy and what she's been hearing from Diane. But I think also the fact that this relationship that she's been having, rekindling with her ex in Australia, that all sort of goes to pot. And I think that's probably the final straw. And she thinks, no, I'm going to go back to Emmerdale, and see what's going on there.
Okay. So can you just remind us, she went out to Australia to go and look after Charlie, didn't she, who was Dee Dee's dad?
That's right. It's her ex-husband, Dee Dee, her younger daughter's father, and he was involved in a massive car accident, and needed, round-the-clock care, really. So she went really to support her younger daughter and to do what she could to look after the ex-husband. So she's obviously developed some kind of relationship with him, rekindled their romantic relationship while she's in Australia. But then he's also apparently been having it off with his nurse.
He's as bad as Bernice.
I think so, yeah. They probably deserved each other. But so she had enough. So she's obviously said that's enough.
So when she left, she was about to get married to Liam, deeply in love, and she left him kind of high and dry, really. And he took quite a while to move on, but he's now very firmly moved on. How is Bernice going to feel to find him engaged to Layla?
Well, I think she does sort of know. She's heard about it or read about it on social media, so she is sort of prepared. But I think she's not happy, and I think she's just not accepted. She can't believe that he could have moved on from her, and that I think she thinks as soon as he sees her that those feelings are going to come flooding back for him. She's not really thought it through, because I think it's just a typical Bernice. She's like a monkey. She can't let go of the branches. The branches are like partners. She has to hold on to one before she goes on to the next one. And with this having dissolved in Australia, I think she honestly thinks that Liam's she's just going to be able to fall back into his arms. And obviously that's, not going to happen.
So will we see any residual feelings between the pair? I mean, how does Liam react to her? Can you talk us through the scene when they sort of come face to face?
I think he's really kind of shocked, because he's sort of got a glimpse of her when she just gets back, but as Emily was saying, he's quite drunk, and so he thinks that maybe his eyes have deceived him. But then he sees her come into the pub, and he is totally, I think he's just shocked, really. Wasn't expecting to see her at all. And obviously Layla is anxious, I would imagine, about what does this mean. But Bernice just manages to convince herself that he still has feelings, because I think at first he's trying to be sort of a bit sensitive around Bernice, not trying to sort of be too blatant or anything. But then he realises that as Bernice starts to misinterpret his feelings, that he's going to have to be quite hard with her and say to her, look, I don't love you, I love Layla, deal with it.
And do you think Bernice loves him, or does she just want someone to be there? She's a man magnet, isn't she?
I think she just wants someone to be there. I don't know whether she's really capable of really loving anybody. I don't know. I think she feels deeply, but whether she's got that capability of having a long-lasting, mutually respected sort of relationship, I don't know, because she's quite a selfish person, really, and she's quite insensitive to other people's needs and things. You have to point things out to her all the time. So I think anybody's going to get fed up with that.
Do you think, given that you just mentioned that you feel she's selfish, how do you think she's going to find being a granny?
Well, I would have thought she'd hate it. She's furious. She hasn't sort of said, because she's quite vague, she hasn't kind of said really, oh, I'm too young to be a granny or anything like that. But I'm sure that'll come. I think it's sort of, it hasn't quite sunk in yet that is going to be a grandma, at the moment.
Does it irk her that Gabi has got pregnant by a Tate and is living at home farm? How does she react to that? Is she determined to get her out? Yeah,
I think so, because I think Diane has been feeding Bernice with a bit of information and sort of saying, oh, this has been happening, and Gabi's been taken under Kim Tate's wing and this, that and the other. So I think Diane's wound Bernice up a little bit and sort of let her go, really. So we haven't really seen much of that yet, other than when Bernice first comes back, you have a confrontation between her and Kim, and then we haven't really seen any more of that, but I'm sure that more will come as we go further down, the line of the pregnancy leading up to the birth and everything.
Yeah. Now, we're told that Bernice comes back with a bang. Can you tease anything about that?
Well, let's just say that it's an unexpected arrival. She sort of turns up somewhere where you wouldn't expect her to turn up, and it sort of backfires.
Now, Nicola, her sister, is in a real pickle with her marriage with Jimmy. Is Bernice going to be helpful in that situation?
No. Well, I think she needs reminding that other people have got problems other than herself. Bernice, because obviously at the moment she's off on one when she first comes back, thinking that she needs to rescue Liam from Layla's clutches. So I think once she realises that things between Nicola and Jimmy are quite desperate, then I would imagine she tries to put her counselling hat on and tries to sort of suggest that she gives them some counselling or something. So, which I imagine is just going to be ridiculous.
And you mentioned earlier that Bernice will be living at Brook Cottage with Diane and Charity. What's going to happen about the salon? Because Mandy owns that now, doesn't she? Will Bernice try and work there, or?
Well, Mandy does ask her, to offer her some work there, actually. Because I think Bernice sort of covers for her one day or something, and then she kind of says, look, I could help you, I could contact all my old clients, I could increase your profits and all this absolute rubbish. And Mandy sort of says, well, okay, as long as you're not going to be patronising and telling me what to do. So Bernice has been working there the odd time, so I can imagine that's something we could see again in the next few months, a bit of friction between her and Mandy, because Bernice will be trying to tell Mandy how to run it, won't she? She'll be a nightmare.
And has Bernice been given a new wardrobe to come back to?
Well, do you know what? A lot of the clothes they'd actually just put away and kept, which I couldn't believe. I have got a couple of new things, yeah.
You mentioned earlier, because of obviously COVID and we've got all the protocols, and you've got to do your own hair and makeup, and so Bernice is going to be in a wig, obviously made looking like her natural hair, but can you tell us a bit about the wig?
Oh, it's a nightmare, isn't it? I mean, it's a really good wig, but obviously it's not real hair, so it's never going to be completely natural looking. I do have to have some help. I have to have somebody from makeup in full PPE that just helps me get it on, because I can't get it on. I do everything else. Flatten the hair and put the stocking top on. But it's difficult because it's a wig. You know, the parting thing, to me, just looks like a wig, you know, even though we do our very best, you know, and obviously because it sort of comes down like that, so I'm kind of trying to move it to the side so that it shows my face without showing, you know, too much possible hairline of my own. So it's quite tricky. I'd be so glad when I've got rid of it, but it's still better than me trying to do my own hair and trying to make it look like a proper nice hairstyle, which Bernice would do.
Yeah, she's very coiffed and super glam, isn't she?
She is, and you know, so I think we just have to cope until makeup can come back in, which hopefully in the summer they will be able to start doing hair and makeup.
Fab. And I've just got one last question. With Liam off the scene, do you think Bernice will have her eye on someone else, or is there anyone that you could think she might, you know, take a shot?
Well, I don't know, because there's quite a few new characters, aren't there, that have joined that I don't know who they are really, and because we only work with you can't mix with anybody other than the people that you are doing your scenes with. So there's probably people in the cast that I've no idea who they are. She's bound to sort of have her eye on someone if she accepts that things with Liam aren't going to go anywhere. There's bound to be somebody, but I cannot think who at the moment.
Okay. And does it take her a while then to accept that Liam's off the cards? Is it dealt with in the first week, or is it going to run on, that story?
Oh, no, it runs on just for a couple of weeks, really, until he, you know, the wedding block is actually over.
Well, thank you, Sam, so much. That was great. Thanks for sparing your time.